Hi, this is Fake Review Watch, and I'm Kay Dean. It's been a year now since the FTC published its new rule cracking down on fake reviews. As I wrote in an op-ed in The Hill at the time, I predicted that the new rule would have little effect because it failed to hold platforms like Google accountable for the fraud they push on the public. 1 year later, the review fraud on Google is as bad as ever. Let's quickly revisit what Google told the FTC during its rulemaking process. In January 2023, Google said it was concerned that the FTC might be taking aim at the review sites themselves. It objected to the FTC chair's comment that, quote, platforms that host reviews may have financial incentives to turn a blind eye to misconduct that brings in revenue, unquote. Google then went on for 7 pages explaining why it is incentivized to combat fake reviews and explaining all it does to fight against them. Google finished up by saying if deterrence is the FTC's goal, then the FTC should be focused on the bad actors perpetuating fake reviews, not the platforms working hard to stop them. Of course, I show time and again what an ocean of pollution the Google review space is, and have called out the company numerous times for its negligence in cleaning up the mess. No matter, the FTC assured Google in July 2023 that the proposed rulemaking does not apply to businesses like third-party review platforms that disseminate consumer reviews. The company was apparently satisfied and checked out of the whole process because I saw no further public input from Google. So, is Google really doing all it can to clean up the rampant review fraud on its platform? Let's see what it's done to dismantle a fake review network I documented last year, right about the same time the new FTC rule went into effect. In October 2024, I produced a video showing how a network of Google profiles was posting fake 5-star reviews for doctors, lawyers, and other businesses from coast to coast. I even got one businessman to admit that he had paid $400 for 10 reviews from a review seller. I used this expansive spreadsheet in that video to show the utter corruption in just one little tide pool of Google's ocean of fake reviews. Across the top here are 156 Google profiles posting positive reviews. On the left are businesses from coast to coast benefiting from these reviews. Look at the overlapping review patterns here. They're completely unrealistic and something Google's algorithms should have recognized as likely fraudulent. It's now a year later, and I spot-checked this data to see if Google had dismantled this network. What I found was shocking. When I looked at the reviews for Doc Hypnosis in Phoenix, for example, 26 of the 38 from last year were still active, deceiving consumers and inflating the Doc Hypnosis rating. 17 of the 20 for Kings Point Foot and Ankle Specialists in Los Angeles were still active. All 13 for North Hollywood rheumatologist Dr. Michael Ellis were still active. 12 of the 13 for Badlands Asphalt in South Dakota were still active. So, despite Google's assertions to the FTC and to the public, it's doing a terrible job of cleaning up fraud I found a year ago. But the problem is even worse. Here's the same spreadsheet from last year, but I've done some new research and added more data. This network of fraudsters just continues to expand. Let's scroll right. Okay, there's the end of the 156 profiles I found last year. But in 1 day of research 2 weeks ago, I found 87 more profiles that were reviewing many of these same businesses, again with overlapping review patterns. I'll show you what I'm talking about using Sukhoi Heating, AC, and Duct Cleaning back in Washington, D.C. Doc Hypnosis in Phoenix, Dr. Michael Ellis in North Hollywood, and KRPM Investment Group, also in Southern California. We'll start by showing 5 Google profiles who all posted 5-star reviews within the past 9 months for Sukhoi Heating and Air Conditioning with 2 Washington, D.C. area locations. Note below that these same 5 people also posted 5-star reviews within the past year for Doc Hypnosis way out in Phoenix. Coincidence? These 3 people posted 5-star reviews for Sukhoi within the past 4 months. Flossie Maserati posted reviews for both Sukhoi locations, in fact. And all 3 posted 5-star reviews within the past 5 months for Dr. Michael Ellis, clear across the country in California. I'm getting more suspicious. Finally, here's Flossie Maserati again, along with 3 others who posted 5-star reviews for Sukhoi in D.C. within the past 5 months. And all 4 posted 5-star reviews within the past 5 months for KRPM Investment Group out in Southern California. Sorry, I'm not buying any of this. So, not only is Google failing to dismantle this network of profiles posting fake reviews, but it's also allowing the network to expand. In fact, more businesses are implicated. I'll show you. We're back on our spreadsheet, looking at the 87 new profiles I found that are posting reviews for many of the businesses in my report from last year. Let's scroll down, however. Here we have new businesses also being reviewed in common by these new profiles. As we scroll across, you can see that many of these profiles are once again suspiciously reviewing businesses in common. Amazingly, half of these 87 profiles have reviewed Mr. Pool Leak Repair with multiple Dallas area locations. Even more amazing, 15 of these Dallas pool repair customers apparently use All Smiles Family and Children Dentistry in Fresno, California. And look at this, 4 people all love Mr. Pool Leak Repair in Dallas, All Smiles Dentistry in California, J&P Masonry in Chicago, and various Sachs Autism and ADHD testing centers around the country. Don't believe it? I'll show you. Shevrick King loved J&P Masonry in Chicago 6 months ago. He raved about Mr. Pool Leak Repair's Plano, Texas location 5 months ago. It was 5 stars for Sachs Autism and ADHD Testing Center in Seattle 4 months ago. 3 months ago, he was loving another Mr. Pool Leak Repair office. And 3 months ago, he said his child had a great experience at All Smiles Dentistry in Fresno, California, and is actually looking forward to his next appointment. Yeah, right. Erica Harrison had a similar story. 5-star reviews for all 4 businesses within the last 4 months, including 2 for Mr. Pool Leak Repair. Her review for Sachs was for their Autism and ADHD Testing Center in Bethesda, Maryland. Same thing for Miguel Monroy. 5-star reviews for all 4 businesses within the past 5 months, including 2 for the Dallas Pool Leak Repair. His review for Sachs was for their center in Miami. Finally, within the past 7 months, Trav Shields has posted 5-star reviews for each of these businesses as well, including the Sachs Autism and ADHD Center in Philadelphia. Utterly ridiculous, and I find Google's negligence and hypocrisy infuriating. Gee, FTC, you shouldn't go after little us. We're right there with you fighting these bad guys putting up fake reviews. Spare me. Google can't see unrealistic review patterns like those of King, Monroy, Harrison, and Shields. I could point out dozens more on the larger spreadsheet that seem to have escaped Google's attention. It wouldn't be such a big deal if consumers didn't take reviews seriously. Unfortunately, they do, giving online reviews and ratings an exaggerated importance in today's small business economy. Google doesn't appear serious enough to combat the extensive review fraud, and neither does government. Yes, the Federal Trade Commission put out a new rule last year to fight fake reviews, but they ignored the research I presented on the culpability of the tech companies. So far, I haven't seen any effect from the new rule. I wrote several emails to the staff and finally an official letter to the head of the Small Business Administration, Kelly Loeffler, this summer about the harm fake reviews are having on the small business community, but no one has bothered to respond. I've written to congressional committees and even met with my Congressman Jimmy Panetta last year, but I haven't received any follow-up. I asked to meet with Congressman Panetta again last week to discuss the harm being done to consumers and honest small businesses, but didn't receive a response. So the fraud goes on, distorting the whole small business economy. There are 1,200 fake reviews represented on this spreadsheet alone. I ask again, Google can't see this? Frankly, I don't think Google is trying very hard, and nobody in government is making them.